We're down to our last segment. We're still talking to Secretary Norberto Gonzales. The MNLF has come out openly with Nur Misuary demanding that they have equal representation to the Bangsamoro Transition Commission. They're also asking for a second federal state for themselves. More importantly, they also want the issue of the Kirams and the Sabah to be part of the peace talks. And for these reasons, they pulled out because they think it's going to be an MILF solo-led federal state.
Well, that is really the suspicion of Nur is possible because when he was regional governor, he did the same.
Yes.
It's a Tausug
yes.
government, not really with the Magindanaoans.
Yes.
And now the problem with the MILF is it's not just the Tausug who are complaining.
Yes.
The Maranaos are also complaining.
Yes.
Because they it will all be a dominantly Maguindanao. That will really be a problem. To me, the problem is that they're already quarreling over the pie when it has not really been given yet.
Yes.
So that they will have difficulties. The pull out of Nur, well, I think he's just formalizing it because ever since the dialogue with the MILF, with reason, with justification on what Nur does, talaga namang
one-sided.
Na-ichapuera yung MNLF. No? The original intention during our time was to have first a negotiation between the MNLF and the MILF.
Yes.
Because whatever you will grant, MI or MN, it will be the same. I mean, same territory, same governance. So they will have to come up with an understanding. It's just that now the MILF is dominant. During the time of President Marcos and President Ramos, the MNLF was dominant.
And the MILF, I think, is resistant to the idea that there will be two Bangsamoro federal states also.
Oh, yes. They just want one. In fact, even in the matter of political parties, I think the MNLF wants to be separate. Okay. What would have been ideal, in a democratic system is that the MNLF and the MLF form their own political parties and let them compete.
Yes. Why not?
Well, that is probably the future,
Why is, I don't know whether I should say this, why does it seem like the current administration is giving some sort of leeway or preference for the MILF?
Because that is what they have inherited,
Okay.
Because as far as they are concerned, tapos na yung sa MNLF. Because MNLF have been given the important, confidence-building measure that they should be receiving.
They were governor, etc., etc.
Noon was given the autonomous region already.
Yes.
In fact, the basis of what the MILF is asking, bakit si Noor binigyan nyo ng regional government without elections? Kami, gusto nyo may election. So in fact, may election si Noor, pero alam mo naman na manipulated yun. So now, what they want is to take over the arm with their own version.
But as far as government, that's going to be very difficult because you cannot have
if you speak of
peace talks with only one side.
If you speak of constitutional and legal possibilities, hindi po pwede talaga yung mga hinihingi.
Yes.
That is why I thought that the Bangsamoro should really start thinking that if they will ask for something, should be universal.
Okay. There's another problem with the lumads. The lumads are actually asking for, are you ready for this? 200,000 square kilometers in southern Mindanao, part of their ancestral domain, and another 100,000 as far as the seas is concerned, and they want their place in the sun.
Well, you see, we may be at fault in that because you see, each time we have talks with the CPP-NPA, talks with the MNLF, talks with the MILF, there is a lumad component there.
Yes.
And I'm one of those who have told them, hirap sa inyo, ang hiling yung umangkas eh. Why can't you define your own demands and all of that? Yeah. And I even said, no matter how small a territory, you must have a center because very important that we give the lumads the opportunity to protect and to preserve their cultural heritage. It will disappear.
Yes.
If not given an opportunity. But as far as territory is concerned, I really don't know. Well, we gave the Cordilleras their own territory, but they refused to accept it. So I don't know about Mindanao. I mean, the only area that I could think of is somewhere in Butuan.
That's the latest. They're asking for 200,000 square kilometers as part of their ancestral domain.
Where is that located?
Southern Mindanao. I don't know.
Well,
They're
anyway,
looking at it.
well, let's look.
Along with the tiro rice and all the rest.
Let us look at that. You know? That's something worth looking at. Yeah.
So, in this, as far as the MNLF and the MILF is concerned, so what happens now? We don't see another we don't see another light at the end of the tunnel in this case.
Because we keep on proceeding with the process that we have been kanya-kanyang simula ulit eh.
Oo.
For example, I was opposing coalition governance from the very beginning.
Yes,
no?
yes.
But tinulak yan. Dito ngayon, balik yung, I don't know, Jess is an old hand in this. Jess Torres is an old hand. He should understand the many nuances that has happened during the past years. But I think what is happening today is a restoration of the process that has been corrected by two previous governments.
President Duterte said if the BBL is not passed, then to address the future peace in Southern Mindanao, we have to turn to federalism. Will this be the tail wagging the dog? I mean, the entire country has to go federal because one MILF group wants to become a federal state. Wants
to be a state. But I mean, it's not impossible to talk to the MILF or to the MNLF or to the various regions. No. I think what is in federalism that we want in the first place. The only feature that beginning to really surface is about money.
Okay.
But I think that's one of the, it's not the major consideration when you talk federal.
Resources. They're talking about resources,
money, resources,
power.
And power. So that is not how it should evolve, no?
That's not how actually states are created.
Yeah, I mean, to me, there are certain moves in the past that are important to recall. For example, during the time of President Ramos, he created the Peace and Order Council, the Regional Development Councils. Those are important institutional creations that could lead to some of the ills that we are looking at when we see it, So we don't really, to me, federalism as a concept is more for ASEAN than for the Philippines, Because to me, I would like to use the issue of federalism to...
Countries confederating, that's what you're saying.
Countries confederating is federalism.
Yes. Philippines becoming federalism
is dividing the country. It's really dividing the country. I think we will go as far as maybe in enhancing the powers of the regional, our regions.
Yes.
That's why if you are offering the MNLF or the MILF autonomous region, why can't we open autonomy to all regions, for example? Because of our experience already with the regional development councils, that could be possible already.
That is the template.
That is the template that we can do. That's why when President Arroyo, for example, asked me a concept paper, I said, from the Regional Economic Council to regional autonomy and possibly federalism, ?
Okay.
So that's I think we should be moving towards more autonomy for the regions.
You're talking about more or less devolution, actually.
Devolution. And if you go by our local government code, actually it's already
there. It's there already,
It's already there. Many of
Only
the things...
need to enforce it.
Many of the things that we're asking for are there. So, to me, it will be very risky for now. I'm very sorry to say this because I'm an advocate of charter change.
Okay.
But given the political situation that we have today, we should not touch it.
Okay. We should not tamper with it.
No, not at this time.
Not at this time.
Not at this time.
With all the threats going on, especially around our country.
Yes. Yeah,
with China and all that.
Yeah, there are certain things that we can already do given this constitution to stabilize the nation first before we move into something that will further destabilize the country.
They say the local government code just needs a little tweaking and it's already okay.
Yeah, and then the local government code doesn't need charter change. Okay.
It's faster, no? If it's by legislation.
Yeah. So look at it, examine it, Consult our expert, and instead probably of an entire revamp of the charter, maybe we can have an amendment or two every 5 years or something like that.
But let's start with tweaking first with the local government code.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you.
That's the pathway now.
Yes, and it strengthened the regions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marcos burial. How do you see that?
Well, it's
Festering
I don't know why it has to happen.
or move on? What is it?
I don't know why it has to happen. The Marcos family could have created a real burial site for him. And if they want the recognition of the nation, those who believe in Marcos, and there are many of them, could have gone there. Baka yung pa ang naging tunay na libingan ng mga bayani kaysa ito sa libingan ng mga bayani. But that gesture is an unfortunate issue. How do we move on?
Yes.
I really don't
Nandiyan
know.
na eh. What alam nga naman, if we exhume the body, it's actually un-Filipino. It's not in our culture. I don't know.
At saka hindi, away ulit yan.
Away ulit, precisely.
Kuhan muna. Freeze the ball muna.
Freeze the ball.
Wait for better times.
Okay.
There's really anything really serious. We should not touch it this time. We wait for a more stable environment.
Leave it as it is.
Leave it as it is. We can't. We cannot say we're in favor. We cannot say we're not. Bayagan na lang muna natin, nakarest na muna dyan si...
Are we saying let the next generation decide this?
Not the next generation. The next administration.
The next administration.
Yeah.
We just barely 2 minutes left. I cannot let this other issue go because I'd like to abuse the secretary here. China. Are we doing the right thing? Is the president, this rapprochement is auguring well for our country? More Chinese defense goods are going to come to the Philippines? What?
I mean, we can't be too radical in this manner. And I do not think China wants us to ship from U.S. to China. Even China is trying to establish a good working relations with the United States. I think the premise of the certain action that we are moving towards China is 1960 vintage. This is a Cold War equation that somehow is being imposed on us. We are no longer in a Cold War situation. So we have to look into the present, wherein even China and U.S. we now have a one world system. We don't have two worlds. I don't think the Chinese are being impressed by some of the positioning of our president, because that's old. It's not what's happening.
And they know it?
The Chinese know it. Of course, China is a very old culture. They're seasoned diplomats. They know.
How would you handle President Trump?
President Ramos?
If you are the President Trump, Donald Trump, if you are the National Security Advisor?
Well, too early. He might even give us some surprises, when he gets there. In the meantime, we wait.
We'll see how things go from there.
Yeah, because I don't know, will he be, I would like to assume that many of his statements is really just to ride on the sentiments of many ordinary Americans. But now that he will be president, one thing different between us and the U.S. is that the institutions of the United States are very strong.
Yes.
They will survive a
Very
Trump.
established, yes.
Yeah, they will survive.
Well, that's the full hour. We had Secretary Norberto Gonzales. We covered quite a lot within 1 hour, and we'd like to thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you.
Ito po si Eric Espina, palagi po nagsasabi, magmasid, makialam, higit sa lahat ay manindigan. Dahil wala pong magmamahal sa Pilipino kung hindi ang Pilipino. Daghang salamat, mayong gabi kaninyong tanan.